Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you from soggy North Carolina. Well, there's been a ton of stuff happening this past week for the 2019 Appalachian Trail thru hikers, and I want to go ahead and give you the update, and it's current as of January 18th. So let's just go ahead, since we got so much stuff, and dive right in. Begin with, if I've left somebody out any of your information or any hiker that's out there, some of you have contacted me through various means, comments, or Facebook page or somewhere like that. But if I have left you out or any of your information, I apologize. That was not intentional. Please get back to me either in the comment section below or through the Facebook page or through the Instagram account. So all those would be great. We don't want to exclude anybody or anybody's information. Stay to the end of the video here. We got some really cool happenings that happened this week with the channel, and I want you to hear those and be a part of that. Begin with, thanks for all your shout outs and your comments and all that stuff just for me and the accolades you've given me. I appreciate that. That keeps me pumped up. Be sure that you take that energy and you go over to other people's channels, other hikers' channels, and you do the same thing for them and keep them pumped up. And that's the thing I love about this community, is everybody's so supportive. You know, everybody's so different. Everybody comes from different walks of life. They do different things. They have different upbringings, but yet we're all just such a great community, and we all want to help each other out. So that's just one of the reasons that I am doing this. Is just a labor of love for this community and for those hikers out there that are on their way to Katahdin, or will be shortly on their way to Katahdin. So the best way you can support those hikers that are on their way or will be on their way to Katahdin is subscribe to this channel, where you'll get updates on who's added to the list and who's out on the trail and other things that are going on with the trail. You can also go to the Facebook page, which is the same as Ramdino Roaming the Trails, or you can go to my Instagram account, which is just simply Ramdino. If you need to send me a private message, then you can do so through that Facebook page or that Instagram account. So, we got so much going on, we'll just go ahead and dive right into it. Current registrations right now show Nobo at around 1,240. We have flip-floppers at somewhere around 54, and Sobo hikers at somewhere around 57 that are registered. So that's somewhere around a little over 1,350 people that are registered as of last night, January 18th, for their thru hike. Now, I talked to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, asking them how accurate they feel like that is. And as I've said before in other videos, you can add another 25%. Well, I'm giving you the data that I get directly from the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. And depending on who you talk to, that may change just a little bit. So, the last data I got was that they feel like about 90% of the people register. So that's moved up from 25 to 10% now. So you can add another 10% to that. But in any case, those registrations continue to climb every week, and we certainly expect them to do so. And you'll also notice that we've reached some critical maximum numbers for the trail there on March 1st, and again approaching it on April 1st. And those dates, there'll probably be some more dates that get a little closer too. And so there's a lot of people on the trail, even in some cases beyond the maximum what the Appalachian Trail Conservancy considers the maximum for the Appalachian Trail. 54 people leaving Springer. I think that's a extremely high number all at one time in the area. And I would even venture to say that even lower numbers, around 30 or 40. However, as we know, that people will drop out by the time they get to Neal's Gap, somewhere around 25%, and people will get spread out the further north they go. So you'll still have a great trail experience no matter what. And if you're looking for a social trail experience, well, you've come to the right place and the right dates if you choose anywhere around those dates. One of the questions that I had was I contacted the Amicalola State Park, and I asked them how many folks had stepped off the trail, and they're saying that as of last night that there was 20. So we've got actually more people registered than that. We've got around 25 people that were registered to step off. So either some people have decided not to go, or some people have not registered down at Amicalola State Park. And the ATC asked that all people register that would down at Amicalola State Park, and that's where they would pick up their tag, their thru hiker tag. So the places they don't mail those through hiker tags, the places they pick them up are at the ATC visitor centers that are scattered throughout the trail. So of course you've got Amicalola State Park, and you got Harper's Ferry, and then the ATC Center there in Monson, Maine, before you are just after the 100-mile wilderness, 100-mile wilderness area in Maine, and if any other ATC visitor centers, which I think there may be one or two others along the trail. So those are the places you pick up your tags, or you can pick them up from Ridge Runners. However, the Ridge Runners don't start till mid-February. So you won't be able to, the only place you can pick up your tag if you're heading Nobo from Springer is Amicalola State Park. Now that doesn't mean you have to take the approach trail. You can get a shuttle up to the parking lot there at the Forest Service Road at Springer and hike the 1.1 mile to the southern terminus and then turn right back around and hike back. You can do that if you'd like to. Or you could do the approach trail. It's up to you. We've got a ton of new vloggers that we've added to the community. Some of you have contacted me and let me know that you will be vlogging, but your channels don't have any content. So we kind of want to keep this the links open, and we certainly want to support you. So I have not included those that do not have content on their channel. So please, as soon as you post your first video, if you would go ahead and contact me, and I will make sure that we get you on this list. We don't want to leave anybody out that's posting content. It's simply because we can't support you if you don't. We don't have a place to make comments or anything else, and we don't want to leave anybody out. We want to support everybody, but we need at least one video or one trail journal or one blog or something on your Instagram account for us to go and comment on. So if you've contacted me and you don't have content yet, please get back to me and let me know as soon as you do. All right, so we'll go ahead and add these that have contacted me and that I do know that have content. We've got JS Outlook that's heading Nobo March 31st, and their trail names, they've already got trail names. They're Ramblin' Rose and Two Knees. We got Traveling Outside the Bats, and they're Nobo leaving February 27th. We've got Wonder Woman Christie, and that's Annette and Lynn, and they're heading Nobo February 21st. And they are fundraising for Return to Dirt, which is trying to get people to come outside into their national parks and areas, and raising money to preserve our national parks and public lands. We've got Chase on the Trail, who's a veteran, and they are heading Nobo on February 28th. And we've got something that's kind of new to the channel that I'm sure is occurring before and out there, but we've had some previous thru hikers that have contacted me and referred a thru hiker that they're working with. They're kind of mentoring. So if you remember last week we had Garrett Heights, and that came from Scoutmaster. And this week Early Riser 71 referred Green Feet Outdoors, who's Nobo January 31st. So Early Riser's going to help him out, and I'm sure with that kind of backing behind him, he'll be all the way to Katahdin in no time. Quicksand on the Trails leaving early January, heading Sobo. I'm sorry. Quicksand on the Trail is early July, and they're going to be Sobo. So Sailor, now you got somebody heading Sobo with you. Richard Gadd is Nobo February 21st. Hiking with Arrows, Nobo March 17th. Reed Irvin Rolfe is a veteran, and he's Nobo March 3rd. Chunker and Snot are heading Nobo February 27th. Ginga Ninja is Nobo April 8th. And John Batts is Nobo February 27th. And we picked up a couple Facebookers, or we got one Facebooker here. Mimi Wonders is flip-flopping, and she's starting at Harper's Ferry, and she's also a veteran, and she's hiking for mental awareness fundraising and also for Mission 22, which is, is the military suicide awareness charity. We picked up an Instagrammer, Radiant Joy, and she's heading Nobo the end of February. So again, if I left anybody out, I'm very sorry. Please let me know so I can get myself squared away. Weather report this weekend and moving through at least Monday, the first of the week, we've got snow coming in the southern sections of the Appalachian Trail. And the biggest factor is the low temps and the wind. So not only are you going to have some precipitation, but the wind chills are going to be in the single digits. And it's a possibility they could even get closer to zero with the high wind. Some of the gusts are going to be up in the double digits, even around 30. And of course, at the higher elevation you go, the windier it's going to get and the colder it's going to get. So protect all your squeezes out there. You're going to be sleeping with them and your boots and your batteries, anything, and your phone if you're taking a phone with you, and any other electronics. So that's the best way to do it, is put them down in that sleeping bag or your quilt or up underneath you, and keep them warm so that they'll last you as long as they can to the next recharge point. For the existing Appalachian Trail through hikers that we've already had on the list, we've got a couple updates for them as well. Wrongway has been giving us some intel from the trail, and I've been talking to him, and several folks he knew were at Standing Mountain as of last Sunday, but he is now in Franklin, and he's going to be staying there for maybe a Nero and a Zero, trying to avoid some of this weather. Craig Maines has posted a video of his 2018 hike. The fabulous Artemis on the trail has posted us a last-minute preparation and means of contact, how to get in touch with her while she's out there on the trail. And she's got a lot of great videos, so you just need to go and look at all of those. Outdoor Adventures has given us his cook kit and his water filtration and storage. Method Man on the AT has given us his long-awaited intro. Ketchup has given us his Long Peaks shoes trial hike. Pork Chop meeting with Scoutmaster. So Pork Chop sat down with Scoutmaster and interviewed him, and they talked about his trip and preparing for the new through hikers. And Pork Chop also gave us another video on a shoe hack. Kyle, a.k.a. Budsy, gave us a video on why he's hiking, and then another one on a recent hiking trip. Maggie Stillwater gave us her 10-year gear comparison. So she's kind of fallen in step with the 10-year Facebook thing that was going on. She, instead of doing that, showing her picture from 10 years ago, she showed us her gear from 10 years ago. So that's really interesting. Mike Bowman is showing us his training for his body and his mind. Stalling Bear Through Adventures is giving us a video on his thanks for all the support that he's received and what's going through his mind. Julie of Julie Leaves giving us the kit that she's taken and links to her gear. Dudley Do-Right's got a gear video. Eastern Backpacking's got a vlogging equipment video and what they're using. Just a Farmer gave us his shoes and gaiters review and also talked about his recent surgery. And unfortunately, during that video, he informed us that he would not be doing his through hike because of his recent upcoming surgery. So, Just a Farmer, we hopes and prayers go out there to you. Hope that surgery goes good for you. And we wish you all the best and look for you to recover and be on the trail next year. Where's Wrongway? Again, he gave us day 5 and some other trail videos. And Tone Deaf 83 Gordon gave us a change there for his hiking for Mission 22. And we also got a change in information for him. We updated him to be a veteran. We updated Pork Chops and Applesauce's step-off date to be February 15th. Quicksand on the Trail hiked Nobo in 2016. So his videos this year are going to be comparing the Sobo hike with his Nobo hike from 2016. So that'll be interesting. Traveling Outside the Bikes gave us their gear reviews and clothing. Runa Hikes gave us her intro. Dozer gave us his big 3. Sarah Hikes gave us the food that she's going to be eating on the AT. Adventure Quest gave us some thoughts about what he's thinking before he leaves. It's Who Here gave us their final preps and their gear hike. Amy's Adventures gave us her Z-Pack issues and how their tent they got from Z-Packs was new out of the box and was leaking. So that seems to be a reoccurring thing going on here. If you'll recall, Artemis on the Trail also had a video about her Z-Packs tent that right out of the box was leaking. So Z-Packs has previously been a good company for quality control and customer service, but it seems like they're kind of getting a little lax here lately. So I hate to hear that from a cottage industry. That's something that can really harm a cottage industry. So hopefully Z-Packs will recognize that and step up to it and fix all those issues they've got either with their quality control or with their customer service. there's more out there. I'm sorry. Working in the Matrix, I did not have time to get to everybody's video, and I apologize for that. You just kind of have to balance the Matrix life where you actually make money to put bread on the table with this video channel here, and unfortunately, the Matrix life pays a little more, or it pays, so it keeps the lights on. So I just ran out of time. Some really cool happenings that are going on with the channel this week. I had a hostel in Virginia that contacted us and reached out wanting to know how they could support thru hikers. Also, give a shout out to Chris from North Carolina. He has taken the data and turned it into a spreadsheet for me. So I'll leave that link down in the description section and also on the Facebook page. I apologize, but that spreadsheet may not have this week's current people, but I'll try to get that caught up sometime after this video goes online. Also want to thank David McGee from Station 19E at Rome Mountain. That's a brew pub and a hiker hostel, and that's right after you cross over the Highway 19E after you come through Rome Mountain Highlands. He's been in contact with me, and one of the really neat things they've got there is called Pour It Forward. So you can buy a hiker a beer, and you can just pay for the beer there, and then they will put that money aside, and when a thru hiker comes through that needs a beer and either wants to take advantage of the Pour It Forward program, then he'll get a free beer. And they will put the number of the person that paid for that beer, and they'll take a picture of the hiker that got that beer, and they'll post that on Facebook, and so you'll get to see the hiker and the name of the hiker who you actually bought a beer for. And they've also opened that up this year to buying appetizers, buying a breakfast buffet, or buying even a bunk night stay. So you can go and support and do trail magic right from your own comfort of your own home or from your desk at work. So go to their Facebook page, and I'll leave a link to it down here in the description section. Go to their Facebook page and check them out, and go ahead and do a little bit of trail magic without leaving the comfort of your own home. One of the really neat things I got to do was spend a little bit of time in conversation with Fresh Ground of the Fresh Ground Leapfrog Cafe. So he is going to be starting in mid-February from the southern terminus, and he's doing it a little different this year. He is going to be setting up, and only setting up for one day at a time. And then he's going to be moving on forward and moving all the way up Nobo, and then turning around and coming back Sobo. So the main reason for that is that he normally goes somewhere and he sets up for 5 to 7 days, but particularly when the bubble's coming through and there's a lot of people there, you can just imagine all the foot traffic. And what happens is you have, particularly during rain events or bad weather, you have a lot of people tramping up the same area, and you kind of, it's hard to maintain leave no trace principles. So some of the areas get quite damaged from that many people in that concentrated area. So he's going to move forward to try to prevent that. And so kudos out to him for practicing good leave no trace. And he's also going to be helping out probably a more variety of people as well. So Fresh Ground, thanks a lot for that. And you can support Fresh Ground in his endeavors by going to his Facebook page. I'll leave a link for that down in the description. And he's fundraising there so that you can go and help help hikers as they go, as they do their journey and their quest Nobo to Katahdin. So he'll be cutting that off before he leaves in mid-February because it's the Forest Service doesn't allow him to do any type of fundraising or collect any type of money while he's on the road. So he has to do all his fundraising while he's here. A big majority of the funds are his own funds. And he's actually gone out and improved what he's got this year. He's got a new vehicle instead of a Camry. He's got a F-350 van, and he's fixing that up. And he's going to be doing some more stuff other than just feeds. He's going to be doing some hiker shuttles and helping people out with slack packing and getting into town. So go and support him and help him as he goes and helps these thru hikers. A little bit about the government shutdown. I'll leave a link in the description section from the ATC about the government shutdown. One of the things is that you'll not be able to get the permits to get into the Smokies or the Shenandoahs until the government opens back up. And of course, there's no rangers or anybody else in there, so there's nobody that can get to you in the case of emergency quickly. You'll have to wait for some first responder to come from a nearby town, but you won't be able to get a permit. Now, I went online last night and got all the way to the portion of the permit where you have to pay for it, and it was functioning, but I wasn't going to pay the $12 to get a permit. So I have been told by the ATC and on the National Park Service site that they're not doing permits, but if you need to get a permit, you can go ahead and try it. If not, hopefully then they will forgive you if the government opens back up and they get back out there and they're checking permits and you don't have one. One of the things in the Smokies is that some facilities have been able to remain open, and that's because the Friends of the Smokies Association, which is a volunteer association, has taken some of the money that they have raised and they are paying for that out of their own pocket. And also, in some cases, the National Park Service has found some money in their recreational fund from recreational fees, and they're utilizing that in the time being until that's exhausted to maintain some of these facilities and keep the trash picked up as much as they can. So everybody's doing what they can during this time of government shutdown to keep the trail as good as possible. Of course, the trail is open. The trail is, whether or not there's people out there or not, as far as Park Service people or Forest Service people, it does remain open all the way. Blowdowns in Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee are not being cleaned up right now. I've heard from Wrong Way, and he said they are particularly bad coming in from the northern section of Georgia and into North Carolina because the trail maintainers cannot go out and maintain the trails because their insurance is through the federal government. And even though they're volunteers, they still have to pay insurance to go out there in case somebody gets hurt, and liability insurance, and that is not in place now, and so they are not allowed to do trail maintenance work out there. So all these blowdowns that are falling down, nobody's out there getting them out of the way of the trail. So as the hikers are out there, please practice your leave no trace as much as possible and try not to rut up too big of an area as you get around those blowdowns. Had a viewer ask this week, is this list complete? No, this list is not complete. This list is a living, breathing organism, and it will probably never be complete. It changes every single week, every single day, really. People adding to it. Some people, unfortunately, dropping off. So I don't think it'll ever be complete, but I try to make it as complete for the moment as I can with each update. So the only hikers that we've got that we're tracking right now that are out there on the trail is, of course, Wrong Way. We've already said that he's up in Franklin, and Jay Hiker, and he has gotten as far as Gooch Gap. However, he is staying right now at top of Georgia, and he's going to be there for the next day or so, and then he's getting back out on the trail, but he's trying to dodge some of this weather. So the only hiker we had starting this week was Just a Farmer, and of course we already discussed that he's canceled due to an upcoming surgery. So everybody out there, if I've left you out, again, I'm sorry. For those that have contacted me and you don't have content yet, let me know when you get content up. Don't want to leave anybody out. Also, if you could, if I don't have you listed about when you're starting, please let me know when you're starting. I understand that some people, for security reasons, don't want exact dates, and that's fine. We respect that. But if you could give us a first of the month or end of the month or middle of the month, then that way at least we can start looking for your videos as you post them, and then we can start beginning to comment on those. Well, that's it for this week. A lot of stuff. That was kind of long, and I appreciate you hanging in there. But as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.